Oh no, welcome back to the Matchday Live, and it's me, Dan, back again. And this weekend, Manchester United face Newcastle at St James's Park. It's a 4:30 kickoff again. The team, I hate to say it, even though it kind of picks itself. I think it will be Xerxes up top with Fernandez and Garnacho, Dorgu, Casemiro, Ugarte, Delo, Yoro, Maguire, Mazzari, and obviously Onana in there. We'll get on to Onana in a minute. But let's talk about the last league result, which was a one. Sorry, it wasn't a 1-1. It was a 0-0. What can we say about it? It was a really dull game, wasn't it? Really, snorefest. Really, we hardly, both teams tested each other. I'm not gonna lie. City had most of the chances in the first half. Oh, he can save. He had most of the chances in the first half, and in the second half, we kind of had. I feel we had the better chances second half, but we was. Oh, for God's sake! Of course, it falls to their player. So yeah, that was then. That was. Not much happened really. It's just like some good saves. Onana made some good saves. Ederson made some good saves. It was just, it just, I don't know what you could say really. I said they would take a draw, but it was so poor. What on earth is he doing? It was such a poor game from both teams. I feel, both teams kind of settled for the tie, and like we didn't know what. You just didn't know what was going to happen next, and it's. I don't know. Like I said, you just can't really explain the game. It was just like they were both. It was like a testimonial, like that type of game where shots were just from outside the box. Easy saves for the goalkeepers. Okay, you could say Xerxes one he had in the second half was not too bad, but again, like I thought we were. We wasn't the best, but we was okay. And City, they wasn't the best, but they were okay. It's just like the game meant nothing to them, and it's more like a Kevin farewell game for Kevin De Bruyne in the end. So yeah, it was. Oh, that's a nice finish. It was one of them games, really. Not much to say about it. I think Bruno Fernandes got man of the match, which. Don't know how he did, but he did somehow. So yeah, but again, it was just like I said, it was just one of them games. Okay, we got the clean sheet, but it was another draw. Do you know what I mean? It's like a 0-0 draw with nothing to play for. They were literally just. It's more like a training game. Do you know what I mean? Like for both teams, and it didn't Okay, later on we kind of grew into the game. I don't know. It was a weird one. It was a weird one. And then we go into the Lyon game. Let's get into the Lyon game. So, we drew the game 2-2. But it's Onana. Let's just talk about Onana. What on earth? I mean, what on earth is he... I don't know. He had a good game against City. He made some good saves. He actually caught some of the... catched some of the balls. And... It just seems like it just seems like he couldn't. Oh, how have they not scored there? It just seems like he just couldn't be bothered. Do you know what I mean? It's just he kind of let it in, like on purpose. Like the first goal, I just can't explain it. It's just it's a floating free kick, but you can't. How we can't get out? You cannot defend his mistake for the first goal. It's such an easy save. All he had to do was literally, just catch it. And he tries to, flap at it with his hands. And it's just like, what? It's such a poor free kick. It's a floated free kick. I get, the player in front of him, dived in front of him. But I just don't get it. I literally just don't get it. So yeah, we went 1-0 down after that, and then we got the equaliser right before half time with Bruno with the free kick, and I think it was padded away from their goalkeeper, if I remember correctly, and I think it was Ugarte with a volley, and he put it in into the area where Yoro made a great header, great header from Yoro. So then that was 1-1. Great time to score as well, right before half time. Changed the second half. And we were the better team second half. We just didn't know, we just don't know. We had chances to score. Garnacho had his chance. That was well saved. And it looked like we was going to go on and win it. And we almost did. Great pass from Xerxes into Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, gave it back to him. And, Bruno Fernandes gave it back to him. And then in the end, for God's sake, I can't play with this formation. It's just so rubbish. Why have they changed it to 3-4-2? Why did they change it back to the 5 formation? Anyway, what was we saying? Yeah, it fell to Xerxes, 88th minute. It looked like he was going to go on and score. And just later, he just equalised. That's a kick-off goal. Just like we decided to, ump up the gear. And then obviously we got the goal of Xerxes right at the end. And then again, Onana, what is he doing? Okay, it's a much harder shot, the second shot, but it's literally straight back into where the Lyon players was, and he just knew that was going to happen as well after what he said about Matic. After what he said about Matic as well before the game, it's just like, why? Why say that? You're going to drop a clanger, and he dropped a clanger. So yeah, it's I don't know. You just can't defend him anymore. He has to be dropped for the next game. He could play against Newcastle. I don't really care because the league's over, and I wouldn't be surprised if he, what can I say here? I wouldn't be surprised if Onana doesn't start at this game, to be honest with you, but let's see what happens there. But Ruben Amorim after the game said, if Onana makes a mistake, the whole team makes a mistake. It's not their fault. The goalkeeper, there was one point you could see that Harry Maguire, he could have left it for Onana, but he just didn't put it back to Onana, and he cleared it because that's when you don't trust they don't trust their goalkeeper. And it really pissed me off last night, that Onana. It looked like we was going to go win the game, and we had chance to make it 3-1 as well. Let's not lie, but again, you can say about the defense as well. They don't react to the goal line, to the save, so you can't say anything really. So I don't know. It is a weird one. It is a weird one, but at least we didn't lose. It's we go back to Old Trafford, and how did we not get that? We go back to Old Trafford, and it's going to be 2-2. It's going to be a massive game on Thursday. I hope he does rest players this weekend against Newcastle. Bring in some players that need minutes, like Luke Shaw. We saw Kobe Mainoo came back on against Lyon as well. Start Mason Mount. Give some players. We're just going to end in the draw. We're just going to give some players time and match time and stuff like that, because we're going to need these players, especially if we go through to the next round. But you never know. And the way Onana, it's a massive game against Onana. It's a massive game. If he starts Onana in the next week's game, I'm not gonna lie, I could see us losing. You just can't trust him anymore. You just can't trust him. What makes matters worse, he's had some really good games recently, Onana. It's just so annoying. It's just so annoying. We got the late winner, thinking we was going to win it, and they scored like in literally the last couple seconds of the game. It's so annoying. It is so annoying. I haven't really mentioned Newcastle. Obviously, Newcastle, they're going for Champions League, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're thrash us, to be honest. It's at St James's Park. They haven't lost since since Brighton, actually. They lost against Brighton at home, didn't they? I think it was a couple of weekends ago, wasn't it? But I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle beat us. You know, it's going to remind me of the game against Nottingham Forest, I think. It's going to be like that game where we might have chances to score, but we are, you know, struggling to score at the moment. So let's see what happens. You never know. We might go there and win. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. But, you know, to be honest, in the Lyon game, it wasn't the best from us, to be honest. But we should have had that wrapped up. So annoying. So scoreline for the Newcastle game, I'll be happy with an away draw. I'll be happy with the 3 points as well, but I'd be very surprised if we lost this game. I'd be very surprised if we won this game. All I could see is a Newcastle win. It's going to be like 1-0, 2-1, something like that. One goal in it. Whether or not we score or not is another question. But yeah, I feel Newcastle will get some goals against us, unfortunately. But let's see. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for today. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to leave your score prediction below. So right, guys, I'm going. Bye.